And welcome back to the Transform Your Relationship Show. I'm Laura Rubinstein here with the amazing, fabulous, and incredible Dr. Roberta Shaler.
There we go again. Hi, Laura. Amazing, incredible, magnificent, and significant Laura Rubinstein.
Thank you. So glad to be here with you. And, during this odd, awkward time of viruses and contagions, whatever, it's good to stick together and have conversation. I think we have to be in isolation, but we're in the 21st century. So we have what? We have this awesome platform to connect with.
Yeah.
So saying hi, please feel free to say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're sending some love out, that's really what we want to be doing, is sending more and more love out. I mean, we titled the show, "Are You a Worrier or a Warrior?" for a reason. And it's kind of like, I want to say, a love warrior in a sense. It's not like I'm going to kill somebody. It's more like I'm going to love somebody up. I'm going to love myself more. I'm going to love others more, and do the smart thing at the same time.
hmm I looked up the definition of a warrior, and it says brave and experienced fighter. And I think that, fight doesn't always mean some kind of horrible encounter. It means, putting up a shield and just saying, no, I'm not, none of that, thank you. Warriors have shields. I think we want to implement our shields and know when to make them permeable and when they need to be really, really impermeable.
hmm Yeah. There's a discernment that goes along with being a warrior. It's knowing when to, that knowing that you will have fear, but it doesn't get to control you, right? It gets to inform you, and then you got to keep your head about you.
Yeah, it's remembering the mission.
Yeah. And
That's
shout out to Tamara. Hi, Tamara. Thanks for joining us.
hi,
So glad you're
Tamara.
here. Yeah, and we are just huddling up here, huddling up as warriors who are going to keep our heads about us, who are going to do smart things. So if you have smart things you're doing, feel free to add them to our list here and sprinkle them below, as I like to say.
Yeah, and remember too that being a worrier means that you are working against your system. And if you're worrying, that's energy that's going in the negative direction. And you want to put your warrior spirit into what can I do to defend myself from this virus. That doesn't mean I defend myself from humans or defend myself from other things. We're just simply defending ourselves against a virus. And that's a very wise thing to do. I think we'd all defend ourselves from an intruder. And that's what we have now, a worldwide intruder.
And I say, let's crush this thing. Let's all do what we need to do for 2, 3, 4 weeks and stay away from the virus. If you have symptoms, stay away from other people to give it the virus, and do what it
Stay
takes.
away from them if you don't have symptoms. It takes so long for it to incubate. You don't know if you have it. And this is a major, major thing that's going out. People say, I feel fine, I'm going out. You don't know what's incubating in you. You don't know that you're contagious because you don't know you have it. So just stay home,
Please.
please.
Safety of yourself, and not necessarily yourself, but others too.
Well,
Mostly
there are a
others.
lot of people who are at risk. This whole thing that's happening now with opening a store for the elderly in the morning when the store has been cleaned is such a wise thing to do. Or for people who are immunocompromised, that it would be high risk for them to go. But if they reduce the risk a little bit and say, you get the first hour when the store is completely clean and you can go and get what you want, this is wonderful. Just a great thing to do. So we have to be wise warriors.
Wise warriors. I love that. Can we, what wise things what else are you doing, people? Let us know. Let's share. Let's make this a place where we can crowdsource that, and, um, you know, you were trying to educate me earlier. I'm very resistant to it. Wear a mask whenever you go out, even if you're symptom free, Well, they're saying, but the people who wear masks are, getting more germs on their hands because on their faces because they're touching the mask. So should we
Yeah,
do
but
a
you put
mask?
it on at home before you go. So the germs are the ones you have already. And then when you go out, you're not sharing them, and that's very important, especially for people who are immunocompromised, because they may be taking a medication which suppresses their immune system. And they don't need your cold or your cough or whatever you might have that's not coronavirus. It's just a wonderful time of educating ourselves on the transmission of disease and any kind of disease. I just cringe when I go places and everybody's coughing at any time. Like, if you have a cough, stay home and don't share it. It's a simple matter anyway, but now it's particularly important.
Well, we're seeing it. We're being all enlightened and made aware of how important it is to take care of each other by being respectful that if you have something you can give to someone, or you know let's not even chance it. And
No.
I really appreciate the hearts and the love here because the I think a whole heightened awareness, we're going to be a healthier nation hopefully because of it, right? Because of all
Mm-hmm.
the stuff we're learning today and in this time frame about you know what happens when you touch something,
Mm-hmm.
and what happens when someone who is immunocompromised comes in contact with somebody who has a symptom or doesn't even have a symptom but might be carrying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's take care of each other by respecting, what needs to be done. And I know it's really not fun to sequester ourselves. It really isn't.
Well, it may not be for those people who are somewhat extroverted, but for introverts, they're going, yeah, right. What a wonderful thing. I don't have to go out. We've talked about this before. If you have FOMO, the fear of missing out, being at home is absolutely awful. But if you celebrate, as I do, JOMO, the joy of missing out all the time, um, I'm fine with it. Like, I like my house. I spend a lot of time here. I choose to do that, and it's not a problem at all for me. I was trying to calibrate this morning. Are you feeling stuck? Like, I've been home since Thursday and now it's Tuesday. No, didn't even notice all that time went by without going out.
That's funny because I got back from a trip and I decided to isolate myself too, or sequester myself, quarantine myself, I guess. And around day 6, I was like, I gotta get out. I gotta get
Mm.
out.
Well, you can
I,
go out in your yard. I
I
mean, we can all go for a walk. We have a
well,
six
I think
foot distance.
yeah, I think what it was I gotta feel like I'm not, like I have freedom. And there was a sense of I'm so stuck. I can't do certain things. I can't, like, I had to, I felt shackled. And so if we can somehow find a sense of freedom within the, okay, I'm staying home and I'm going to make the most of this. Yes. And that's obviously, as a warrior, I'm going to do that. What can I do to take care of myself? How much vitamin C can I pump through my body? you know, how,
Garlic. Get
garlic,
garlic.
echinacea, propolis, elderberry, zinc, other multivitamins, vitamin
Yeah.
O green,
Cooking the
wellness shots,
spiciest food you've ever cooked.
spicy
Now's the
food.
time.
Yes. There are so many things you can arm yourself with, your immunity sense, I think, is really important to do some of those things. And finally, a friend called up and said, "Can I come over?" And I was like, "You know what? You can. I'm having a little bit of symptoms, but I think we need each other. We needed each other in person, so we did it knowing there's risks, but
Well, you can
staying.
do it in the backyard,
Yeah,
you know.
well, not when it was raining, but yes.
No, but I think people are forgetting that you're quite free to go outdoors. You're quite free to go for a walk. You're quite free to sit out on your deck. And I wrote a thing, for people who want to see it, they can go to my my page, Relationship Help Doctor, on Facebook and see it. But I wrote a list of things. And one of the things that we can focus on is all the things you said you'd like to do at home if only you had the time.
Only. And now we do.
Now you do. So if there's that book you wanted to read, that drawer you wanted to clean, whatever it is, now you have the time. So see it as, oh, this is a gift. I can do this, as opposed to being in that always moving forward mode that's on my list of things to do when I'm not moving forward. Well, now you're not moving forward in the same degree that you were. So maybe there's some joy to be had there.
Maybe. So, what you put a link to this article on Medium. Is there something you want people to know? Do you want me to put
It's
this
just an excellent article. And I just invite you to share that with folks in the chat because it's so rich and factual so that it
facts are
helps.
good? So that's where people get. So I know one of my friends said to me, "Oh my gosh, my daughter is off the charts with anxiety. What can we do? What can
Breathe.
we do?" So everybody, let's breathe.
The luxury and the inexpensive nature of a few deep breaths is never to be underestimated. When your shoulders are making their way to your earlobes, that is just a wonderful signal to say, and I just need to take care of myself for a minute. And 3 good deep breaths will do it. We've talked about it before, but breathe in deeply through your nose, hold it for a bit to let the oxygen go around, and then exhale fully through your mouth to let the carbon dioxide out. And do it 2 more times. You reoxygenate your body, you relax your body, you get the carbon dioxide out, and it's such an important thing to do because when you have a lot of carbon dioxide, your system is not working so well, the anxiety will increase. So know that you have something in your immediate ability to do to take care of yourself. Start there, and then the next thing is water.
Lots of water.
I mean, don't you find it exciting? This is something that's really been striking me in the last couple of months is that we have machines.
We
I
have
live by myself and I think, my goodness, I I have machines. They wash my clothes, they wash my dishes, they dry my dishes. I have an instant pot. It does my food for me. I have air purifiers. I have all kinds of machines that are working for me. And I'm so grateful for them because what if I had to take care of every one of those things? I was thinking back to when I was a young mom, and I'm going to date myself, but honest to goodness, my first child, I had a wringer washer and no dryer and a clothesline. Now imagine how little connection there is to a new mom these days who has no idea that you got to take care of a baby and then you got to go to the basement and you have to spend all that time and put them in the ringer and go and hang them up. And if you don't do it, you don't have diapers because there weren't any
disposable.
disposables. And you know, think about your machines. Would you be fine with no washer, no dryer, no dishwasher, no stove, no refrigerator? You know, take a moment and look around in this isolation. Look at all these things that work for me all the time,
Yeah.
that allow me to do my thing as opposed to spend my whole morning pounding my clothes on a rock, you know? So have some gratitude, I guess is my point, that we have so many wonderful things that actually work for us and that we're so much better informed. We know what the value of drinking a lot of water is, and especially with a little lemon. we know what the value of rest is. We know what the value of reduced stress is. We know what the value of oxygenating through just simple exercise. You don't have to get fancy and you don't need a gym. Just do some exercise. Do 10 jumping jacks. Do whatever, for 3 minutes, but do
Three.
it frequently.
Yeah.
You're at home. Get some new habits here.
Why
That's an
not?
opportunity. Get out
There,
your yoga mat.
yeah. Um, and then on YouTube, type in relaxation music.
Oh,
There are
yes.
hours and hours of streaming relaxation music. Just play it in the background. It'll change your whole demeanor, just to have that. And you might find some new resources that you might love. And if anybody has any suggested artists, feel free to add them here. Um, that would be wonderful to start kind of collecting that, but I had just searched for relaxation music. There's another gal, if you like chanting. I find myself when I'm getting a little bit anxious. I was out doing a little shopping, and I was a little bit like, well, should I really be out shopping, or why are all these people out shopping? And there's just the voices. I was humming to myself, started humming
Hmm.
to myself, and that really calmed myself. Something like, don't worry about a
Be
thing,
happy.
'cause every little thing's gonna be all right,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's a good thing. We have a lot of control, and when we get into the worry mode, we are paying attention to the negative. And when I wrote the book, What You Pay Attention to Expands, it was a long time ago. I think it was 2003. And I had a global pandemic in mind when I wrote it. But if you are going to give all your attention to what isn't working, all your energy is going toward that. You can change that.
so where are you putting your attention, and what is your intention? So that's why I put this down here. Are you a warrior? Because let's be the warrior. Put your attention on
What you
moving
can do.
on what you can do, your health, and making the most of the time, reaching out to people, connect with people you haven't connected with. If you're thinking about them, call them. The phone does not is not a contagion, so
That's
it's not.
right.
It's good. It's all good. We can connect here. On there are lots of people putting things together on online too. Different communities are putting virtual gatherings together. So um, you know, we're here for you, letting you know that we're in this with you. You're not alone, and this is the time to take really good care of yourself and remember others as well.
Yeah, and let's go back to the worrier part for a
Oh, yes.
moment. Because if you get your knickers in a twist about ain't it awful and where's it growing and what's going on and how many and numbers and all the time, you are giving a message to your body that puts it on edge, and you start creating hormone washes that are in the fear and flight world. And you don't need that extra chemical thing going on in your body. There's a really good reason to use something that allows you to deep breathe and relax and allow your body to work on to keeping your body in good shape. For me, I have a few issues. So I know that there are some times when the wisest thing for me to do is to just be still and let my body do its thing in a positive way. Let all the energy just go to allowing my immune system to fire up and work. Now that's on an everyday basis for me, but right now that might be really useful for you. Back in the 90s when I owned the retreat center, most of my clients were people facing chronic or life threatening diagnoses. And it was so hard for them when I would say, now, your only job from 2 to 4 in the afternoon is to rest. Oh, but, no, your actual job right now is to rest. And we're resistant to that because we bought into a kind of cultural thing that be more, do more, have more, repeat. Now, sometimes the only wisdom is rest, to lie on that bed and give yourself over to the bed. Now, those of you familiar with yoga, we call that shavasana. That's corpse pose. It's what we do at the end of our yoga practice. But here's the deal, the whole purpose of that is to breathe out and allow your body to sink more and more and more into the floor, if that's where you're lying, or into the bed, wherever you're lying. Just give yourself to it more. And each exhalation, more. And check, am I holding up the back of my knees, or is there tension around my eyes? And let it go, let it go, let it go. It is such a wonderful practice for us every day. But if you happen to be in the worrier category, or you go in there every now and again, use that. Say, okay, no, I just need to get back to baseline, which is relaxed. Let's
Mm.
not have our baseline be um, on guard. That's a very important thing for us to recognize, and we are in charge of that. And if you're reading every scaremongering thing that you can, stop.
Stop. Bring in the positivity. I think what I was getting a sense of when you were talking about lying down and just letting your body relax into it, it's really giving your nervous system a break, allowing it to repair itself and get into a state
Yeah,
that's more warrior-like. You always see those movies, The Karate Kid to Dancing Crouching Tiger, whatever that one is, to any of the ones with warriors in it, they get into a very zen state, or feel the
yeah,
force,
just
Luke,
here.
right?
Yeah,
Feel the
centered.
force. You've got to get
Yeah,
centered. We've got to get centered. And one of the things I'm going to be starting up again, I did this years ago. As many of you know, I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I'm going to be doing my relaxation minutes, which I just used to put little audios up on Facebook, and people loved them. They were 1 minute long. So I will be starting that up because I really think it's a service to help people calm their parasympathetic nervous system, and
right.
get back into rational, feeling good about yourself, feeling good about the world, letting your body perform at optimum in its optimum state. So let's do this.
And let's remember this, you're powerful. You are very, very powerful when you are centered, when you are focused, and what you pay attention to expands. So if you're focused on being calm, if you're focused on being centered, if you're focused on being healthy, if you're focused on being loving, if you're focused on being relaxed, you're going to get more of that. And it's just a simple formula. What you pay attention to expands. Yes, I wrote a book about it, but it is all in the title. If you need more support materials, I guess you'd read the book, but it's important. You are in charge of what you think about and where you place your energy. And it's so basic, isn't it, Laura? I mean, so
It's
basic.
basic, but it's not always easy. It's not like where we naturally want to go unless you practice it. So where are you focused is a great question. And then follow it up with, where do you want to be focused and what do you want to feel? And then you can ask yourself, well, how can I get that for myself?
Exactly. And it's available. None of this stuff costs money. Maybe you want to learn something, or you want help, or you want somebody to support you, and that's a worthwhile endeavor. But the beginning stage is go learn, go practice. Most of us don't need more information, we need more implementation.
More practice,
Yeah.
practice, practice.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
be
you know
warriors
what
in
to do.
training.
Yeah, you know what to do,
In
but
fact,
do it.
would you agree? A warrior is always in training.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You don't know what fight's coming, so you're always ready. And that's an important thing. I mean, I'm not keen on the idea of warrior because, of course, that gives us a war kind of metaphor. But
Right.
to think about brave and experienced fighter, Maybe you've been through things in your life. Maybe you've had difficult relationships or you've been abused. You're a warrior. You are brave and experienced. You walk through things. Maybe you'd like to be more brave and experienced. Maybe this is a challenge for you. Staying home is a challenge for you. What do I do if I don't have the energy of others? Extroverts are people who need to collect energy from other humans.
Right.
Introverts are people who need to protect their energy, and that's why they're tired after 20 minutes at a party.
Right.
Don't take my energy away. But if you're an extrovert and you have to stay home, it's a little more difficult. So then, learn to generate your own energy rather than to scavenge it from other people. um, Learn to breathe yourself, and there are breathing techniques in yoga that can breathe you up, will give you more energy. Look at some of those. You can use this time to find out where your power lies and
Mm.
where your power needs shoring up. And if you take the time to be self-reflective, this can be a great time. Virus aside, I mean, that's something we're going to deal with, but most of us are not going to get ill.
Yes. Use your superpowers for good. We all are so powerful, like you said. I loved it. So thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you for, if you're just joining us, please watch the replay because there's a lot of inspiration. We're here for you. Know you're not alone, and good things are going to come out of this, especially if we focus on them, on the positive, on what we can do, on protecting ourselves and boosting our immunity. And mostly, I love this idea of taking care of ourselves to relax, to really do the things and take time to do things that you have been not able to get around to doing. As my dad has always said to me when I was in times of down sadness or, despair, it was work on the garden, Laura. And he meant work on your inner soul, work on your soul today.
Nice.
So um, we're here for you also doing that. No, you're not alone in that. So thanks,
That's
Roberta.
right. Thank you, Laura. And remember, if you have questions, put them in below, whether you're listening live or in the replay. We do respond. So let's stay in touch.
And you can always contact us at our respective websites
Yeah.
too. Bye for now.
Bye bye.